Hello and welcome to part 10. I just wanted to start off by saying this little couplet here was a big pain in the ass. The last one, the glue would soften up a bit with heat. This one, as you can see from the broken bits of the capacitors and even the resistors, which seem to be tougher. That was just not cool. Anyway, also I just will point out that I finished this board here, so I just wanted to complain, I guess, about this couplet. When I tested the resistors, of course, like I said, I could never test the capacitors, and now I can't anyway because they all broke. The capacitors were off. They were up high, rating high, between 10 and 20%, and I don't really know what the tolerance are supposed to be for these, so I guess anyway it's obviously going to get redone now. So I just wanted to start this off with that, and I will be back when this couplet is completed. Okay, I've got this rebuilt now. I ended up using 2 mica caps. I didn't like the performance of the ceramic caps that I got for the 0.002 and the 390 picofarad. For the 3300 I picked up this multi-layer ceramic cap, and it performed okay. It was the heat, because with the other two that I had, just by applying my fingers, they were going way out of whack. And obviously, you guys can tell I watched the latest Mr. Carlson's lab. Anyway, so I did have a couple of the mica here, the 390 and the 0.002. Interestingly, the schematic called for 0.0022 on the schematic itself. On the schematic and in the parts list, but when you looked at the list of parts on the couplets, it said 0.002. Also, the back of this couplet listed 0.002. So, at any rate, it is a little bit of a hodgepodge of resistors there. But it will fit. I did have to put these on the back side because of the close proximity of this sitting right here. So I did check, these are not shorting or anything. I even put a little some insulation on there anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together, and then this board is complete. I realized that when I went to go look at the plastic cover, I forgot completely about gluing or epoxying the plastic parts that hold the whole thing together, so I've got to go do that and then leave that for a few days. In the interim, I'm going to put this back together, and then I'm going to take a break from this for a few days because I did get a piece of equipment that I need to work on, and I'll show you that soon. So I'm going to finish this video up. I'm going to put it back into the chassis. I guess I'll show you that and then I'll do an upload. Hello, welcome back. Well, it's another segment to you, but it's been a week since I've touched this. So I went ahead and put this back in, and something I was doing the other day, because you know, that vertical problem I suddenly have. When I went through the troubleshooting, there was only a couple of things left that it could be, aside from just not having the horizontal done right. But the troubleshooting said that it was either going to be the 13 FD7 tube, that nice fat tube for the vertical, or the K3. So I did pick up a 13 FD7 just in case all the component changes freaked out the existing tube. But I Also was checking the dimensions on the K3 couplet so I could try to rebuild it if I have to. And I happened to notice when I'd put the tube in just to check how much clearance I have on the side there. I don't know if you can see that, but watch this. I don't know if that was that way when I was testing this, but certainly that would cause a problem considering that that is the ground for the tube and a couple other components around here. And since all the grounds are not connected, I'm kind of hoping that's why the vertical was freaking out. So I'm going to have to get that back in there. In the interim, before I discovered that, I did happen to build one of these K3s, and I had these 1000-volt micas, and had a lot of fun trying to fit all of this into about the same space. It was kind of an interesting test. Now I do have ceramics that I could use to actually that would all fit on here, but again, you know, I watched that Mr. Carlson's lab, and anyway, it kind of freaked me out when I would test the caps. You know, they come out, they're well, in this case, these are 1500, so it would be 1500. All I have to do is hold it in my hand, and my body heat causes it to drop by 200 picofarad within a matter of seconds. So I'm just concerned about the heat and the change, although I'm pretty sure that the Philco designers took that into account. But anyway, I put one of those together, or started to, and since this one was just tacked in, I may, if that turns out to be the problem, I may test this one and the other one. I may, just to see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this board in there, and I will be back. Alright, I've got it back in, and I do want to apologize to whoever has to work on this in the future for having to solder a couple of the wires. I also went ahead and soldered this up here, and we got a piece of tape on there. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video before I tilt this back up. Oh, I also replaced the rectifiers. I used the 5408s, I guess that's what they are, because I have them, basically. I have a bunch of them I left over from my Jackson 658A rebuild, and I bought them. I think they were 10 for $1 or something, super cheap. But anyway, so they're a little overkill, but I'm not too worried about that. Alright, so I will see you in the next video or the next edition, and we'll fire it up and see if we have a stable vertical. Thank you for watching.